what they're doing right here is doing what the Attorney General of Arizona did and what the Attorney General of Texas needs to do, which is recognize an invasion of the state of Texas that is undermining our security, risking the health and well-being of Texans, allowing fentanyl to pour into our schools and communities for Texans to die, allow our ranches to get run over, empowering cartels who are well armed along the border with their tentacles reaching into Texas. You damn right that's an invasion. What else do you call it? You want to sit back and hand wring and sit around and wrap yourselves around the axle about a definition of invasion when the people of Texas are experiencing an invasion? And the whole point here, why we're here, is that these individuals have the courage to stand up and say it formally, to formally declare what is true, that we are being invaded. The language of the statement that they put out: that as a matter of law, the aforementioned facts which they outlined constitute, among other things, an invasion of Kinney County, Texas, as the term invasion is used in Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 7 of the Texas Constitution. That is what is happening. I was at Eagle Pass just this morning, meeting with Border Patrol. I was on the Rio Grande. I was up when about roughly 450 individuals, mostly when I was talking to them from Cuba, Venezuela, Colombia, all coming up, walking up to Border Patrol and getting what? Put in buses and then being sent to a processing facility to be released into the United States. That is what is happening. People say, oh, that's all fine, that's all just a humanitarian thing. But what's really happening is that all of those Border Patrol agents are processing people, undermining our law, releasing them to the United States unlawfully, illegally, which is why Mayorkas should be impeached, and then distracting Border Patrol from being able to do their job of patrolling the river, allowing fentanyl and terrorist actors and dangerous actors to come up and pour into the United States. 107,000 dead Americans from opioid overdoses and poisonings. Fentanyl, an NFL star, fentanyl poisoning. A college star, fentanyl poisoning. West Point cadets, fentanyl poisoning. What do you need to see the invasion that's happening to Texas? And you heard these great Americans, these great Texans, applauding the governor for stepping into the breach when President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas are leaving Border Patrol, dangling, fighting against a well-armed cartel. The governor is giving resources and providing help through DPS, razor wire, containers along the river. You've seen it. I was just down there looking at it today. But guess what? It doesn't work in the end if the federal government refuses to enforce the laws of the United States, and that is precisely what is happening. Not enough razor wire, not enough container stores, and not enough DPS troopers in the world to stop a federal government refusing to do its fundamental job to defend a sovereign nation. We should declare an invasion. We should, as Texas, turn people away and do what is necessary to secure our communities. Because as the judge said, we support our communities and protect our communities first, protect Texas, and then the federal government should be doing its job under the Constitution to reinforce that. Well, with respect to cartels and whether or not they are terrorist organizations, as you know, and as these folks know, I introduced legislation to designate them as foreign terrorist organizations. I think we should. I think we should treat them as such. And if some people get hung up on that definition, fine. Call them squirrels. I don't care. But give the tools necessary to law enforcement to go after them. I think it ought to be foreign terrorist designation. Knock their knees out from under them. Stop their funding. Stop the dollars from flowing to them. Approach them as the enemy they are. They are undermining Mexico, allowing it to become a narco-terrorist state, then funneling fentanyl into our communities while Americans die. What more do you need to know than that, right? So we should designate them as such and knock their knees out. I think the people of Texas ought to continue to follow this model. I think the people of Texas ought to stand up and say enough. We're not going to allow this anymore. We're not going to allow this flow. We're not going to allow the cartels to have power. We're not going to allow these drugs to come into our communities. We could stop it. You just have to choose to. The Biden administration, to answer your second question, has specifically chosen not to. It's purposeful. Don't kid yourselves, or all the media out here. It is purposeful. There is no other answer for it. They are exploiting our laws and allowing them to be abused to the detriment of our country and allowing the collateral damage to be the people of Texas, the counties in Texas, while they just ignore it. You notice that when there's a tragedy, they have no problem going in front of the cameras to find South Texas, but they sure as hell aren't coming down to South Texas to deal with the daily disaster that we're dealing with every single day down here. What are they doing now? Building a massive, almost 4-acre tent facility to process more people, to send a signal to the world, come here. And then I'm down there with Border Patrol today on the river in the almost 100-degree heat, and a Border Patrol agent's walking up the road carrying a child, a baby, because the mother was out of gas. They're trying to get her water. How in the hell is that humane? How do you pat yourself in the back and call that compassion, which is what our Democratic colleagues in Washington are doing? So yeah, they're abandoning their oath to the Constitution, and Texas needs to stand in the breach.